to the X-Rated Sports Network, where the takes get loud and the truth get exposed. Let's talk about it. X-Rated Sports Network.
If it's game time talk, we the ones who connect.
X-Rated Sports Network.
Where the hot takes live and the truth get checked. East Coast talk, West Coast swagger. Stats on the board, yeah, the debate get louder. No filter talk, yeah, we calling the play. If it's sports conversation, we leading the way. From the hardwood to the gridiron plays. Breaking every matchup, every headline debate.
Well. It is a very happy day if you are a basketball fan. There's orange bouncing right now in the daytime in the NCAA tournament, y'all. We are Beyond the Surface on the X-Rated Sports Network. Predominantly, of course, an NBA show. But when stuff is hot, World Series, NFL playoffs, NCAA tournament, we talk about that stuff too. We got a WNBA conversation coming up. It is the fellas. It is Dwight Walton, lower right, in our LA studios. We got Dr. X. We got AM Pfeffer holding it down. I am Rick Camlo. We have Jason Arambulo, and we have Kai Josephson as well doing their thing. So, fellas, and Doc specifically, this is such a monstrous buzzkill. I can't even explain to you guys. Cade Cunningham is on my squad in the Cam Dynasty. I'm currently in the first round of a 3-round playoff run, looking to complete the three-peat. And so, no Cade. My team is really stacked, but I need some Cade, bro. So, Doc, Cade is out indefinitely. He's been diagnosed with a collapsed lung. Expected to miss an extended period of time. Doc, he has a left lung pneumothorax, will be reevaluated in 2 weeks. He'll miss at least 8 games. Shams is doing the reporting on this, saying the collapse of his lung is considered mild. There is some optimism that Cunningham will be back in time for the start of the playoffs, which begins on April 18th. Doc, that's where I want to go here. And I'm going to read that again. Because to me, in a sentence where optimism is used, I'm getting pessimistic vibes, okay? There is some optimism that Cunningham will be back in time for the start of the playoffs, which means there is a huge uncertain, and frankly, based on the wording right there, I would say unlikely that he's back for the start of the playoffs. But Doc, you are the doctor here, okay? Dr. X, can we realistically expect Cade back to start the playoffs, which begin April 18th, Doc? And that is literally 1 month almost to the day from now.
100%. I think he can make it back on time. The good thing is that we have a history of this in the NBA. This happened to CJ McCollum. He was out for 3 weeks. This happened to, I think, Gerald Wallace back in the day, crash. I think Bynum, they had some scuffle or something like that. And he had a pneumothorax. The good thing is that it's mild, right? The issue is Cade can't fly back. Apparently you can't go high altitudes with that. So thank God he's not in Denver. Thank God he's not going to be 30,000 feet above. He can go home and rest. So that's the silver lining here, is that he has 4 weeks to rest, and they have the 1 seed. So when everybody's doing that play-in tournament, that's another week of training camp for him to get back with his players and to kind of get that rhythm going again. I think the negatives of it would be, I'm not sure, I think him being an all-star already checks a box in terms of his contract, in terms of, how much money he makes and things like that. But in terms of winning awards, he probably knew the MVP wasn't going to be his at this point. But that's probably the only thing that sucks. I'm not sure about all NBA honors, if that will mess up if he doesn't hit the 65 game mark. I think ultimately the main thing is that when he comes back, it could be anywhere from 2 to 10 weeks. That's why you don't want him traveling on a plane, because it could go from mild to moderate to severe. The other issue is he likely won't need any surgical intervention, something called VATS or a chest tube. But if he does, they're going to monitor it closely. The only issue I see is it could reoccur. And they're going to have to closely monitor it, because once you have it, you never know when it might pop up again. So that's one thing. Second thing, it can lead to fatigue and also just mild shortness of breath. So we wanted to get his win back. But I feel like there's enough time where he can get his win back. But I'll say this, I don't think the Detroit Pistons are built to even win, round 1 without Cade Cunningham. That would probably either be Would it either be Charlotte, Orlando? Which other team is in that play-in tournament potentially?
So it
I
could
don't
be
think the Heat.
Miami.
Yeah,
Philadelphia's free falling.
Philadelphia. Yeah, so I just feel like they can't play that game. So Cade has to be back for the first round because I just don't think they have enough to get past the first round without Cade Cunningham.
Well, that's where we're going next here, Doc. A perfect lead in. I just want to add this, and we don't. If you guys want to kind of chew on this as we go around the room here, I think this is going to eliminate Cade from the MVP race. And to Doc's point, and AM's been talking about it too. Like the odds are so heavily in favor of SGA. He's the prohibitive favorite right now. It doesn't mean that it's automatic he wins it. He could, there could be something that happens, God forbid. But here's the math. Cade Cunningham has played in 61 games. Okay. Obviously, you need 65. He's 4 away. So we've got about 3 weeks left in the regular season here, about 12 games. Okay. He's already going to miss 8 of those games. So if he misses the 8 and then comes back for the final 4, he'll get to 65. That is very, very unlikely as I kind of diagnose this math right here. So I think he will be eliminated from all NBA and the MVP race. And it's very unfortunate, but it is what it is. Now, here's the question at hand. And Doc, you led us to this perfectly. And Dwight Walton, you're going to go first here. And I got to give you all an update here. Most of you are probably watching this game. TCU, the 9 seed, Ohio State, the 8 seed, 58-57 TCU, 2:08 to go. The game's on CBS right now. And an absolute thriller. I have TCU, so I'm kind of pulling for the guys in black out here. All right, the question is, Doc, our heads are right here, bro. Will Detroit lose in the first round? That's the question. Will Detroit lose in the first round? And will they lose? Not can they lose or might they lose, but will they? What's your prediction right now? And we don't know if Cade is going to be available for the playoffs. We don't know if he's going to be back, but not quite Cade. Okay, this is our job. It's a difficult question, but we're up to this, okay? And I want to add one more thing. Detroit has a 3.5 game lead over Boston. That's it. 3.5, okay? They might fall to number 2. I would still say it's unlikely, but it could happen. And then, Miami, Atlanta, Philly, Charlotte, that's the play-in tournament right now. Toronto and Orlando have a chance to fall into the play-in tournament. So with all that set up, Dwight Walton, will Detroit lose in the first round of the playoffs? Will we see an 8-1 or a 7-2?
I think the Pistons will maintain their number 1 status in the Eastern Conference, and I think they are good enough to win the first round. They won't lose in the first round. They've had some success this season without Cade Cunningham in the lineup, albeit a small sample size. But I just think we're underestimating. Yes, we've had questions about the Pistons roster. Who is their second best player or their second best playmaker after Cade Cunningham? Trust me, these Pistons, JB Bickerstaff in particular, and the scouting staff are going to have enough time to prepare these players, to prepare the rest of the roster to have this us against the world mentality. Because based on the vibe I'm getting from the rest of you guys, I don't want to speak for AM because AM has his own view on a lot of things. But based on how I think my cousin is thinking and how you're thinking the Pistons have no shot of getting out of the first round. I disagree. They're going to win the first round. It'll be a lot more difficult than what it was going to be, but they will win the first round. Well, can they get past the second round? That's a whole different question. If Cade can somehow get back on the floor to do some exercises before the playoff starts, I'll feel a lot more comfortable. But if he's just coming in right off the hospital bed into a playoff series, that's another conversation we have to have. It's not that simple. At the end of the day, he is an elite athlete, but he is also a human being. So, of course, my cousin will have more educated thoughts on this. But from a basketball perspective, I need to know when Cade is coming back. But to answer the question, I believe they'll maintain their number 1 status in the Eastern Conference, and they will win their first round playoff series. It'll be more difficult, but they will win.
All right, so Ohio State hit a couple of free throws. They're up by 1. We go to LA. AM, you first, and then Doc, without me getting in the middle of it. And again, the question is, will Detroit lose in the first round? AM.
No, they won't. And I'm going exactly with what Doc is saying here. I'm listening to the man. He knows what he's talking about. So in 5 weeks from now, Cade is going to be back on the floor. And besides the lung healing and the history of players coming back within a 3 to 4 week window and all of this, Dwight, to your point about this, everything else heals as well, right? The legs are well rested, shoulders feel better, hips feel better, midsections feel better. He's off the court. The sad part about this, not the MVP race, the All-NBA race, he had earned first team All-NBA, and he is going to miss out on that this year. That sucks, my friends. First team All-NBA is like, yo, that is what we all as fans and everybody who loves the NBA, like those are your 5 guys, and Cade is one of those 5 guys, and he was firmly cemented as the 4th choice for MVP this year. That is a damn shame for him, for Detroit fans, for all of us as NBA fans. But based on who I think Detroit ultimately is going to play, and I don't care which of the 4 or potentially 5 teams that is going to be in the first round, Cade will be back. And I expect them to win that game. I think he's going to be well-rested enough. He's going to come in, and by the 2nd or 3rd game, he's firing on all cylinders. I'm saying Detroit gets out of the first round. Second round, very different conversation. I'll look forward to that in the near future.
So, Doc, go ahead. Will Detroit lose in the first round?
I mean, I just don't think you gave the actual criteria because number one, we don't know who they're playing. And is the question if without Cade Cunningham? So is it without Cade Cunningham? We're assuming he's not playing at all the first round?
Well, you can go either or. Like I said when I set up Dwight, it's we don't have all the details right now, but I can tell you right now, I'm going to bet against the Detroit.
Rick, hold on. Would we be asking this question if Cade was playing? Come on, cuz.
It's a real question, cuz like, is he playing or not in this scenario? So, all right, I'll have to give you 2 answers because of this. So, if Cade Cunningham plays the first round, the Detroit Pistons, depending on who they match up with, because that's the other variable, will get out the first round.
So you're saying they might lose with Cade in the first round? That's what you're saying. They might.
Yes.
Okay.
If they play the Miami Heat, I think I had the Miami Heat winning in that series because Bam Adebayo. He averages 40 points per game. He shoots like 30, 40 free throws a game. So there's no way you can beat that. So I just feel like the Miami Heat are going to probably beat the Detroit Pistons in 6 games. Heat culture, you know what I mean? So and honestly speaking, I do think that the Miami Heat, they just match up better with the Detroit Pistons, and they have all year, and they will beat them in the 7-game series. Tyler Hero, Norman Powell, Bam Adebayo, and then you add all their others that play really hard and tough nosed. Patecchio, what's the other guy's name? Dwight from UCLA.
Jaquez.
Jaquez Jr.
Jaquez. Yeah, and then they got some good defenders that they could throw at Cade. I forgot the guy's name. Isn't it Off Night plays for them too? Yeah, so I think he'll have a hard road to beat the Miami Heat. So I think with Cade Cunningham, I pick the Miami Heat over the Detroit Pistons. But I also think because Detroit is not a good shooting team, that if the Hornets make it somehow, because they might not even make the playoff, the actual play-in, and they could also lose in the play-in tournament. So if they don't make say the Hornets make it as 8th seed, I think they could also beat the Detroit Pistons as well because of their shooting.
With Cade.
And there's also bad blood. Yes, they want a revenge game. Yes, with Cade. Yes.
Okay, see that's the point of this is that, and I'll give you guys my answer right now. So I see the Pistons losing in the first round, guys. And I was high on them, and then about a month ago, it just started kind of changing, man. And it was seeing Castle, D-Up, Cade, and just a bunch of stuff. And Doc, listening to you, and it may come off to some as like a Knick fan they're just the enemy, and but no, you've been putting some really good analysis on everything, but specifically the Pistons and this Cade issue, that they've only got him. They don't have that downshift guy. It's huge. That the house of cards is going to crumble because of that. Guys, I made this point a few weeks back. I'll make it again. The Hawks that year, they had 4 All-Stars peak too soon. The Jazz that year with Gobert and Mitchell and Ingles and all those cats, they peaked too soon, okay? And then they fizzled, didn't even make the conference finals. The Hawks made the conference finals that year and then got rolled. The Pistons are fool's gold, okay? I know Dwight doesn't want to hear this, but they're fool's gold. They're a great regular season team, and a lot of times we see that, and then they just boom, and that's it. Bye, in the playoffs. They have no margin for error at all. They are deep, but that depth only works when the hub of the wheel is in the middle of the wheel, okay? And if the hub of the wheel is not at like optimum, right? If Cade comes back and he's just kind of 85% of Cade, that math ain't going to work. He's got to be 100% of Cade to beat any of these teams, okay? Because momentum is no longer with Detroit. And momentum really isn't going to be with Detroit now that they're without Cade for probably a month. And what if they go on a 5-game losing streak and Boston maybe overtakes them? We got a tie game, 10 seconds left, 64-64. You got to shoot, buddy. You got to shoot. 2 on the shot clock, and he lays it in with 4.1 seconds left. And Ohio State does have a timeout. But guys, here's the age-old complaint that I have. They have to go 94 freaking feet. And they ain't going to do jack you know what, all right? Like, call a timeout, advance the ball past half court.
Advance.
I mean, give me a break, dude. So we're going to see that play out. They're going to inbound, and some kid's going to take a half-court joint, and he's going to miss it, and TCU's going to win the game. We already know how this is going to go. We'll give you updates. But check this out, guys. Cade averages 25. Duran averages 18. All others are 13 or below, okay? It's not going to work. Where are they going to get offense? Who are they going to go to down the stretch? They do not have answers to those questions. And guys, I mentioned the momentum thing. The Pistons have been rather mid since the All-Star break. They're 9-6 since the All-Star break. There's a lot of teams in the East who are playing way better ball than the Detroit Pistons right now with Cade Cunningham. Right now, I would pick Orlando, Toronto, Miami, Atlanta, and Chicago to beat Detroit in the first round.
Chicago?
I see. Did I say Chicago? I meant Charlotte.
Yeah. Oh,
my bad. I saw it as
you might as well say Chicago. You said everybody else.
Hold on, Rick. Is that with Cade or without Cade?
The next line in my script, Dwight, is this prediction stands with or without Cade Cunningham. Okay? So again, our heads are in a good spot here. I don't believe in parachuting in just in time for the playoffs after a long layoff, and it's all going to fall into place. And you are not going to be playing scrubby play-in tournament teams. The teams in the East that make 7 and 8 are going to be really good. They will have earned it. They're going to have momentum. They're going to be all chiseled and seasoned because of playing in the play-in tournament. They're going to be lathered up, and Detroit's going to be coming off vacation. Okay? I could definitely see an early so here it is. The inbound.
But I think the lanes are clogged all over the world. Everybody's watching March Madness. All over the world, everybody's watching March Madness.
So are we having? Is it my tech issue, or are we having like us tech issues?
It's hot, man. It's hot out there.
Are we on?
I think it's Dwight. I think
Dwight, you're just giving off that heat.
Yeah, they're just preferring USA Wi-Fi, right. And so it's clogging.
Okay, so we're back on. I don't really know where we left off. So yeah, TCU beats Ohio State. Let's talk Final Four here real quick, guys. I want to get your Final Four team since the tournament's going on. We'll talk WNBA here in just a second. Yeah, the internet crashed. So we apologize for the technical difficulties, ladies and gentlemen, but we are back beyond the surface on the X-Rated Sports Network. Cam, Dwight, Doc, and AM. Doc, you first because you got the UConn gear on. And UConn
No,
and
I
Duke
got
are
the
in the
Duke.
same.
I got the Duke
Pardon me, I
gear
got
on.
confused. I can't. Yeah, it's on the 2 shot. Yeah, okay, you got Duke on. So who is your
Only because I
Final
wore
Four, my
UConn
friend?
last time. Honestly, at first I had Duke, but then they lost 2 of their starters. They weren't coming back at all. So I just figured I had to go with the better coach and the coach that has actually won a back-to-back, a coach that actually has knows how to motivate his players in this type of format. And I just feel like UConn is going to end up, head-to-head. I feel like they would beat most teams out there. So it really depends on who they match up against. I think they would potentially have a revenge game against St. John's after they got embarrassed at the Garden for the Big East tournament. So it looks like, based off of that, I'm going with Dan Hurley. I just believe in him. I also believe in the players that have been playing together for a while. Caravan, Solo, they have a good bigs as well as some good shooting. So I'm gonna go with UConn. I know they play defense, and I think they'll be locked in. That's who I have winning it all. In terms of like Final Four, I'm actually trying to pull up my bracket because someone else put me in another bracket, and so I don't want to get confused. But I have UConn winning it all.
Okay, AM Pfeffer, who is your Final Four?
I got Louisville over Duke. I love the way they run a gun. I know they're missing one of their big studs right now, but by the time he gets healthy, they get to the Sweet 16. I see them making a run. I just love a team like that in the NCAA. I'm bringing Houston back. I like that early on they get to play at home, basically, especially if they got to play Illinois. They got a good run in them that's coming. I'm feeling them for sure. They know what it takes to get to the Final Four. We've seen that in the past. Arkansas, and I got them over Purdue, by the way. Give me all the A-cuff, right? You see this happen all the time in the NCAA. By the time you get to a tournament, there's one guy who just gives you that 4 or 5 game run where you're like, dude, that's the guy. Usually at a UConn, by the way. We've seen that like 3 different times when they make that run. And there's just one stud that like puts you on the back and gets it. Like A-cuff has that in him. I want to see it. And then Michigan. Michigan's just chalk, man. I mean, they're too good. They really are. They're a fantastic team. I'm a Big Ten homer coming at it. You know, if it's not Indiana, and by the way, I'm kind of glad to see Ohio State lose. I've just never been a fan of them specifically. But I'll bleed a little blue for you. Michigan as my other 4th team.
Hey, Rick, real quick. I have it.
Yeah.
Go ahead. No, I have it
go
pulled
ahead.
up. I'll just name one. So I have Connecticut versus Houston in the Final Four, and BYU versus Alabama. And I believe that I'm just kind of thinking that AJ DeBanza, we might see a new, he's already doing well, but I think we might see the playoff version of AJ DeBanza.
Hey.
And I think I have BYU versus UConn in the final. And
Wow.
UConn has already played BYU earlier this year, and I just had them winning 91-77.
Okay, so UConn kind of handles them in the chip game. I understand. You guys know this. Dibance's been amazing against the top competition this year. Like, the better the competition, the better he has played. So, AM, I got to go back to you, man. You gave me 5 teams, and maybe that was my mistake. I wrote down Louisville, Duke, Houston, Arkansas, and Michigan. Louisville is playing right now against, I believe it's South Florida.
I'm sorry. I had Louisville over Duke in the Elite 8 to go to the Final Four. That's why I was saying.
Aha. Okay, so
I'm
Duke
picking Louisville over. Right. So Duke is not. I'm picking Louisville out of that insane Eastern of all the teams, and there are so many good teams in there.
Right.
There's something about Louisville. I love Louisville. I mean, the fact that they're a 6 seed, the fact that they've ended up where they are. There's just something about their magic. And by the way, they can out of that bracket, they can lose in like game 1, game 2 easily, not even make the Sweet 16. But I just like to me, they're a tournament team when they're at full strength. I like them.
I think I actually picked South Florida over Louisville.
So did I.
Which is probably dumbassery.
Aren't they like 1 for 17 in the from 3 right now?
They're down 10. They're hanging.
Yeah.
So they're down 10. Dwight, they're within striking distance, man. As we go to your Final Four, Dwight, and your championship picks.
My Final Four is Florida, Connecticut, Arkansas, and Michigan. And I have Michigan beating Connecticut in the final 75-72.
Very interesting. Very interesting. AM, I'm sorry, a lot going on. Did you say you have Michigan winning it all? Who did you say you have winning it all?
I actually have Houston winning it all.
You have Houston winning it all. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
I don't remember the score, but it was Houston over Michigan, I believe.
Very cool.
I have Arkansas simply because of what AM said. Listen, if you have a dynamic guard, can Darian Acuff Jr. have a Kemba Walker-like run through the tournament to where he's just a man on a mission, and to revive that Arkansas program back from when 40 Minutes of Hell was happening with Nolan Richardson. But I'm looking forward to seeing Acuff have a very strong run in this tournament. I believe in him. I believe in Arkansas. But I just think ultimately Michigan will win this thing out. I have a lot of faith in them. They had a good year. I think it might have been a good thing for them to lose in their conference final to Purdue, because now Dusty May has some ammunition to say, listen, man, we had a great year, but we can be beat. So you got to bring your A game to every game if you want to win this national championship. I think they will pull through. And again, they'll beat UConn 75-72 in the championship game.
So Jordan Hawkins and give Khalid El-Amin a little love, right? Been a minute since anybody said his name.
Big
Minnesota boy, Connecticut guys. Yeah,
Minnesota boy, Khalid El-Amin. I like it. I like it a lot. All right, so I have spent hours and hours and hours. Do you believe me? Hours and hours studying the NCAA tournament. No, guys, I'm going to be honest with you here. I channeled Noodles for my NCAA tournament picks. You know, because I can't imagine Noodles is like all boned up on basketball, but Noodles definitely would be in the office pool and throw $5 in or throw a couple of dog treats in. I don't know what the heck they're doing over there. But I literally, because you know, usually I crunch it and I'm looking for depth and guard play and like who's peaking and like all the stuff that we all look for, right? This year, and by the way, I do that every year, and guess what? By about Saturday, the opening weekend, I'm ripping up my bracket, right? So this year, I've literally gone Noodles. I've gone like the person that doesn't know jack about basketball route. Like I picked South Florida over Louisville. You guys want to know why? Because I live in Florida. I'm not making that up. Okay. Do you guys want to know why I picked TCU over Ohio State? Because I don't like Ohio State. That's it. That's the reason. And I do trust Jamie Dixon. I do like Jamie Dixon, the head coach of TCU. I think he's a hell of a coach. And obviously you want a meat grinder today. So tons of scientific analysis, Noodle style, went into this. All right. So basically, guys, I am trying to hit the storybook. I'm trying to. By the way, I don't know if you guys saw the Noodles thing I sent, and you got to wait to the end, and there is a awesome punchline about where you can put your friendly reminder. Oh my God, it's so good. You guys got to check out Noodles on it. All right, dude, you got to check. I'm talking to our audience. You got to check out Noodles on Instagram. Doc, introduced me. It's like the cutest dog on planet Earth, by the way. I mean, it's just like the dog is so cute it melts you. But guys, I'm trying to merge sports and Hollywood here. Do you know where I'm going with this? I'm trying to merge sports and Hollywood. Script writing. You guys smelling what I'm cooking? We have a very famous final run going on here, don't we? Tom Izzo? Anyone? Tom Izzo is retiring after this year, right? Tell me I'm not wrong about that, because that ruins my whole bracket. If am I right about that? Izzo's done.
Is that why you picked Michigan State?
Is that why you took
did you pick Michigan State?
Yes.
Yeah. Is he retiring?
So,
I don't know. I didn't hear.
Wait a minute.
I think he's out of shining moments, so it doesn't matter.
Okay. All right. Well, So again, the years and hours and months and weeks of analysis. I even got the whole premise of my bracket wrong. So there's that. But Michigan State's a quality team. Izzo's a hell of a tournament coach. And what the hell? I picked Michigan State. So I got Michigan State over Michigan. I guess take the Holly. Hey, script writers, you're fired. Sorry, we don't need you. I screwed up. My bad on this. All right. We're going to pay you though. All right. We're going to pay you, but I got to fire you right now. There's no Hollywood script going on here. But I got Michigan over Florida. And I got Michigan State over Florida, Michigan over Arizona, and then Michigan State over Michigan in the championship game. And so because, we'll see the results and all this kind of thing. But guys, let's go back to the WNBA here. All right. Noodles, you can, you go backstage now. Sip on some tea or something. We're good. Noodles, we're good. Okay, we're moving on with our show here. Guys, we are, and I love the picture of Noodles on there. We are about to have labor peace in the WNBA. Angels are singing, guys. They are. Okay. The WNBA's 30th season will now tip off in May. I'm so stoked to report that the players have won this war. If you guys want to debate that, we can. I personally don't think it's debatable. We do have a debate that we're going to get to here. So it's a verbal agreement. They got to dot I's and cross T's. But when you get this close, it's going to get ratified, okay? The salary cap is going to increase from $1.5 million to $7 million, okay? The Supermax, which Asia Wilson is going to sign with the Vegas Aces, is starting at $1.4 million. Last year, it was $249,000. Okay.
Horrible.
Do you guys see where I'm going with this? The average salary, the average salary is now going to be $600,000. Okay. Last year, and it was $120,000. Okay. The minimum salary. This is the most exciting part of all. Because of course the big ladies, the Sue Birds and the Ionescus, I mean, they're commercials. These ladies are paid, they're wealthy, okay? But the rank and file players, right? I think of like Heidman with Minnesota, right? Really good player, right? But she's never going to be in commercials and all that kind of stuff and hit it big. She's a role player, okay? The minimum salary is going to now surpass $300,000. It was $66,000. $66,000 for these amazing athletes to be filling arenas. What a joke, right? Not anymore. $300,000 for the minimum salary. Come on, man. That is a monster win.
What was it? What was it before the minimum?
66.
66.
That's crazy.
Insanity, right? Okay. So check this out too, because BRI and the revenue share was a big deal here, right? They're going to get 20%. And they might have wanted more, but 20% is a big uptick. I think it was at 9 or something like that. But that's an uptick too. But to me, it's the money that you're getting in your salary on the 1st and 15th. All right. That's going to look a lot different. They're going to be able to buy cars, homes, take care of their mom, their family. I mean, come on. This isn't like zillions and zillions of dollars, but going from 66 grand to 300 grand, your life just changed. Okay. In a big way. Training camp is set to open on April 19th, followed by the preseason games, and the regular season will tip off on May 8th. The league still has to do a 2-team expansion draft, free agency for about 100 players, and they still have the college draft on April 13th. Okay, so I'm stoked, really, really stoked for the ladies. They get a huge win. And guys, for the have-nots to get a major win over the haves in the United States of America or anywhere on planet Earth at any time in human existence has been a rare and big-time accomplishment. And the WNBA ladies just did that. The have-nots got a victory against the haves. And now the have-nots are previously have-nots, and now they're haves too, because they're all getting paid. All right. Now, the question, and I want to go to AM Pfeffer first here. Are you surprised that the players won?
Well, I want to answer like this, and I appreciate what you're saying, Rick, about spinning it, this idea that the players won, but I don't see it that way. Not that they lost. I see that this is a victory for everybody, and I'm not surprised the deal got done, and I'm not surprised that this ultimately is where we landed. But again, it's not like the have-nots got over on the haves on this one. I truly believe that the league, for the WNBA and specifically the NBA, and we have to remember everything about this. Okay, the WNBA is an incubated baby for the NBA. The NBA owns 42% of the league. Over now, there's going to be 7 owners of the 15 teams who are NBA owners as well. Okay, so the notion that this is like, again, this player is pitted against the ownership, I think is a bit of a misnomer. It's a win all around. The league did ultimately want to raise the floor of the salary cap, and they did want to give what the women wanted and deserved, absolutely. But there's something else to remember here. You know, the salary cap is huge. This is the win for everybody. It's amazing. It just means that there's real money as a floor of over 300 grand, the average of 600 grand, the super max of $1.4 million for the right players, where there's not this need to take on other jobs, to play in other leagues during the offseason. That is tremendous right there. You know, look, the private travel and the housing is something that can come about. But the real focus here is the 20% revenue share. There are some caveats with this, okay? It's hard to really explain, and we can spend too much time delving into this, but if you look at the men's side in the NBA and the 50-50 revenue split, like that is absolutely penned in. There is no question as to how the men get their 50% revenue share based on the salary cap. And there's a bit more complexity that goes into it. A lot of people don't know that 10% of the salaries go into escrow, whether it's a little bit light on the ultimate profit compared to, or if the league actually makes money. It's just not the case for the women. You know, it's not net profit. So the win here, the real win, if you want to give the players a win, is they never had to concede and go with the net profit. And that is a whole different dynamic of economics. They're still getting the gross, but the gross comes with a number of caveats that the men do not have. 20% is still a major boon, and it's a great starting point as future negotiations for the CBA go along, because they never had to go back to the net. And if they ever did, that would have been a huge loss for everybody. So really happy for them to see that it still remains the gross, but there are some caveats to it. Doesn't matter. $7 million is still the floor for the salary cap. The only thing is you can expect that number to remain pretty much in place for the rest of the CBA. Not so with the men, right? It's 136 or 130 something million dollars in their salary cap. That's just going to keep going up every year. Revenue share is different. It's just not going to be the case in the WNBA, but still, that's a damn good floor. And there are some major wins here. But the biggest win of all, of course, is that the season is going to get played. Momentum will keep going. $2.2 billion over 11 years coming from media revenue that is getting infused into the league. And let's not forget, and I really want to hammer home this point, and then I'll pass this along. Look what's going on in terms of the expansion. What do I mean by that? 13 teams as of last year. There's going to be 15 teams this year, okay? The Toronto Tempo and the Portland Fire are coming to the league. When Joe Lacob, who owns the Golden State Warriors, brought in the Valkyrie a couple years ago, he paid $50 million in a franchise fee. At the same time, the Toronto Tempo and Larry Tenenbaum did the same thing, $50 million. And at the same time, Larry Tenenbaum committed $150 million to the infusion of the team and to the expectation of what he would put in the infrastructure of the team. Don't forget about that. That is a massive win for the league and the team itself. But the Portland Fire, do you know what they're paying in their franchise fee for this year to come in at the same time as the Toronto Tempo? $125 million. That's what we need to focus on. It's a massive jump, and there's 3 more teams coming. Philadelphia, Cleveland, and Detroit. They're going to be paying about $250 million in a franchise fee. This league is here. This league is real. The WNBA is about to explode. It's exciting as hell. Big win all around for everybody.
So Rick, before you chime in.
No. I want you to go next anyway.
Thanks. So AM, back to Joe Lacob in Golden State. I heard a report this morning that the Valkyries are worth close to $400 million. Did you hear that same report? As of today, they're worth $400 million. Okay, go ahead and answer the question. Is it $400 million?
I heard closer to 5. But yes,
okay,
absolutely.
Right.
Absolutely. Okay. I mean, again, depending on the multiple or who you believe or what somebody would pay, between $400 to $500 million is unquestionable. Yeah.
So this is the question or what the bottom line says. Am I surprised that the players won the WNBA negotiations? The owners will always win negotiations. They own the teams. They have the money. But for a semantics point of view, the players definitely won. Everything was incrementally went way up. The salary cap, the average salary, the minimum salary. I believe there's going to be better travel. There's going to be better housing. There's going to be better hotels. Everything got better for the players. And from what I'm understanding, everybody is happy. And as long as the players are happy, that's the bottom line here. Again, the owners will always win negotiations. I'm sure there's going to be something in the fine print that we're going to eventually see to where the players may not be totally happy. But trust me, they're a lot happier today than they were 2 days ago. So it's a win-win.
That'll be the revenue
everybody.
share, Dwight. I think when you see the fine print of the 20% gross revenue share and understand some of the restrictions around that, that might be where some unhappiness comes. But you're going to have to see that later on,
Correct.
right? You're going to have to see a year, 2, 3 years from now, like what does that really mean and how they're ultimately sharing in that revenue? Because, for now, it looks like a huge win and a jump from the 9.7% they were getting. But again, there are some tethers here, and we'll see where that really goes.
And that's why when you're on social media, you got to be very careful, because this notion that the WNBA, the thing is, to me, most corporations always operate in a negative. They never operate in a positive. So all this notion that the league wasn't making any money, the league was making money. In particular, the last 2 years, there's a reason why these negotiations are going in the direction that they're going. Also, it was the WNBA had to have a season this season. There's unrivaled right now, would have overtaken everything had the WNBA not had a season this season. And it's important to understand the minimum wage. The players in Unrivaled, all of them are making $250,000. The fact that the minimum salary in the WNBA now is $300,000, that puts Unrivaled in a position to where they may have to step up and do something if they want their league to survive going forward. So that's great for the WNBA. Also, there are other leagues around the world. I believe there's a possibility of a league in the Saudi Arabia or Dubai area. I'm not 100% certain on that, but they were going to probably try to blow the doors off whatever the WNBA had going forward. So because of the threat of Unrivaled and future leagues going forward, they just could have stepped in and said, you guys don't need the WNBA. Come and play in our league and we'll take care of you financially. So it was the WNBA had to get this done. I'm glad. I'm a huge fan. I've been watching for all 30 years. I'm a basketball fan anyway, so I would have watched regardless. But in this case, it's a win-win for both sides. But don't get it twisted. The owners always win negotiations. They have the money. They have the power. They're the ones that control. But again, the WNBA players have to be satisfied with the deal that they've currently signed. It's a great, great day for the WNBA, and I'm glad the season is going to get started as planned.
So, Dr. X, we go to you next here. Dwight and AM are kind of like, both sides won, like not ready to maybe necessarily raise the lady's hand in the center of the ring as the winner of the fight. I am, and I'll explain in a second. Where are you at with this? Do you think the ladies won? Or won with a caveat and a yeah, but. And if you think they won, are you surprised that they won?
I think they won, but I think everybody won. I agree with what both Dwight and AM said. I love the details that AM provided as well in terms of the net and the gross and the buy-ins of other teams going forward. And, the fact that there's only going to be 15 teams this season, there's only going to be more coming in the future. Hopefully that will lead to some, net revenue shares later. And, eventually they have to negotiate again. They left some room for the next negotiation for them to, they can't win everything at one time, but I think they definitely increased in all the categories that they were looking for. And that's why there was so much holdout. I always felt like I kind of ignored it all season because I knew that it wasn't going to be a lockout like that. I knew with all the momentum they had, there's no way the owners would be that stubborn to allow this ship to sink after all that work, all those decades of work for it to now sink at its point where it could actually be taking a turn around the corner to be this juggernaut, especially with TV deals going up the way they're going up now. So I just felt like they were all going to eventually win. And that's what happened. So I wasn't surprised at all. I'm happy for both sides. And I think this is great for the sport. And I think going forward, it's only going to be better. I think the next negotiation, obviously the revenue shares are going to go up. And there's going to be more of a pie for them to get. And I'm just really happy that the housing's taken care of, the travel's taken care of, like the little things, that just make the season fun. And then don't forget, this is like probably the minimum salary of like most doctors coming out of med school in some elite fields, like one of them being radiology. Is I think back in 2001, the average salary of a starting salary of a radiologist or a physician was $300,000. Anesthesiologist was $270,000. But guess what? We got to work 12 months a year. You know what I'm saying? Their season starts. When does it start? In May?
May.
And October. How many months is that? Is that 3 to 4 months?
October.
Okay, so is that 3 to 4 months? If you get eliminated, you don't make the playoffs, then it's a very short season, and then you can go play overseas and make some more money. You can moonlight other places. You can play in Unrivaled. You can do all these things. So it gives them the flexibility, and that right there allows them to be their own boss and really just have some game changing things that move the needle for your family. And so I'm really happy for both sides, for everybody, but especially the players.
I love all the answers, guys. I truly do. I'm a little different, though. I'm an optimist. I'm a glass half full guy, usually. But with this, I wasn't. You guys heard me. I mean, there were rants about it. Kathy Engelbert screwing this up, calling Adam Silver, all this stuff. And they did, by the way. They listened to me again. Okay. I mean, at some point, they're going to put me on the payroll. At some point, I maybe it won't come. But anyway, I am very surprised that a deal got done on time. Doc, I'd love to hear you never thought there was going to be a work stoppage and all that kind of stuff. I love to hear that. I was not there with that. I am shocked the players got a win here. I'm not surprised. I'm shocked. All the posturing by the WNBA seemed pretty earnest and serious, right? And we know how hard it is to pry money away from the powers that be. As it turned out, all of the posturing was nothing more than a test of the players' will and resolve. Will they cave? Okay? They didn't cave. The league was bluffing, and they hoped the players would play their hand the wrong way. And the players were like, double middle finger salute. We're not accepting a bad deal. All right? The players called the league's bluff, and the league lost this high-stakes poker hand. This isn't, I agree with one thing you guys are saying. Nobody lost here. Okay? But to me, there can be a winner in a war where nobody lost. I know that sounds weird. But of course, the owners in the league didn't lose. They're going to be able to have games, turn on their arena, sell beer and popcorn and jerseys, blah, blah, blah. The league is going to satisfy all of their TV partners and all of their sponsor partners and all that kind. So, yes, all of the powers that be are happy right now. Okay, I'll tell you who's happier: the players. The players are celebrating. Okay, I don't think team owners and Kathy Engelbert are popping bottles of champagne right now. I think they're exhausted from all the CBA negotiations. Okay, but the players are popping champagne bottles. Okay, and good for them, man. Kathy Engelbert does deserve some credit here. She was in the room. We got a player-friendly result. However,
she saved your job, Rick.
However, Adam Silver to the rescue again. Adam Silver to the rescue again. Guys, if Adam Silver was not involved in this, I think we're getting a different headline here. Adam Silver is the deal maker. Adam Silver, and A.M. Pfeffer knows this. A.M. Pfeffer is a goat of business. Well, Adam Silver may be the goat of business. Who is he? What is he? Adam Silver is an attorney. He's the commissioner of the NBA. Okay, all of that. But what's more true? He's a businessman. Okay, he is a money maker, a money creator. So thank you, Adam. Thank you, Kathy. Thank you for doing the right thing. Thank you for common sense prevailing. And thank you for the people getting a win against the man. The proverbial man, not a man. You understand what I'm saying. Guys, put up your dukes. It's about to get real in here. Here we go. The question is, Dwight Walton and Dr. X, I know you're not going to like this take. All right, I'm going to set it up, and I'm going to give you my take here. I usually go last. I'm going to go first here, okay? Is Giannis's impact on winning overrated? The phrasing of the question is very important here. I'm not saying is he overrated. Is his impact on winning overrated? We got more bad news on Giannis. Got to give this, right? The Bucks want to shut him down for the remainder of the season with their postseason hopes dwindling and all that. But the team, but he has refused the team's request and wants to play again. The Bucks announced Tuesday Giannis will be sidelined with a left knee injury. It's a bone bruise. So he'll miss at least a week with that. It was a little hyperextension. He wanted to stay in the game. The imaging was completely clean. No structural damage at all. All right, so Milwaukee, 11th place, well behind Charlotte in 10th place. They're not going to make up that gap. But Giannis has missed 32 games this year, the most of his career. The Bucks are 11-21 without him, and they're very crappy with him, 17-19. All right, guys, the Bucks and Giannis Antetokounmpo are that married couple that hard bickers in public settings and takes the air out of every room they're in and creates nothing but awkwardity, okay? Yet they refuse to get divorced. And everybody else in the room is like, would you all please hire attorneys and get a damn divorce? Your butt's killing everybody, okay? And so they are that couple right now. Giannis, I called on Adam Silver to man up about the tanking issue. Giannis, you know what Adam Silver did? He listened to your boy. He manned up, okay? He grew a pair. And he started slapping teams, and now we've got guys coming back, and he's suddenly winning the tanking crisis. Giannis, I call on you to man the bleep up. No more Mr. Nice Guy. Get out of there. All you have to do is ask out, brah. That's all you got to do. And they'll trade you. But unless you ask out, they're not going to trade you. Ask out, dude. Please. All right. Yes. Giannis's impact on winning is overrated. Oh, unpopular opinion just uttered, okay? Guys, overall, the decline has begun. This is the first year we've been able to say that. I don't like being able to say that, but I'm an analyst, okay? Giannis had a stretch about a month ago. 6 straight games under 25 points. First time in 10 years, okay? That was before all these injuries hit. Did you guys even notice that Giannis was back for a cameo? Did you even notice? Probably not. This team is poorly constructed around him, admittedly, but Giannis is a GOAT. He's a top 10 power forward, approaching top 5 all time, and he's still in his prime, kinda, at 31. This is unacceptable, or is this the new version, the overrated version of Giannis? I realize that his stat line is stupidity, 30, 11, and 5 every night and all that kind of stuff. However, I think those days are over. This year, he is 27, 10, and 5. Big time drop off in scoring. The boards are pretty static with what they've been. But those stats are covering up the real truth about Giannis that nobody talks about. Overall lack of playoff success. And you say, he's got a ring. I get it. I was there for it. Giannis has been to the playoffs 9 times. 5 times he has lost in the first round. 5. 2 times he's lost in the second round. 1 time he lost in the conference finals, and then he won a championship. It was amazing, and I give him all the flowers for that. Over 9 playoffs, Giannis has won 8 playoff series. That's not good math, guys. That's not good math. When he won the chip in 2021, he was awesome. Overcame the hyperextended knee. However, he had a championship crew. A crew. Chris Middleton, Brooke Lopez, Drew Holiday, Bobby Portis, Dante DiVincenzo, Louisville is kicking South Florida's ass, by the way. Giannis did not one-man band that ring. That was not Rick Barry or Dwayne Wade or Dirk, okay? That was like Kawhi and his crew in Toronto, Jokic and his crew in Denver. Since the chip in 2021, Giannis has made it out of the first round 1 time. Once. And this year, he won't even make the play-in tournament. Injuries are mounting. He fails to make it to the finish line almost every single year. Remember, he fired Coach Bud, then hired Adrian Griffin, then had Adrian Griffin whacked midway through his rookie season. What the hell was that, Giannis? You manned up then, man up now. Giannis is not a skilled player. The only way that he can beat you is offensively with the Hulk smash mentality. Hulk smash is going to be hard to keep up as you age. Hulk smash isn't how you win in today's NBA. You know, coming downhill, beating up the wall, drawing fouls, blah, blah, blah. He's not a very good foul shooter. Giannis is not going to age gracefully like Steph Curry and Kevin Durant, okay? Because he doesn't have the skill to do that. And Doc, and I'm going to you next here. The Knicks should not pursue Giannis in the offseason. He is not the answer because his impact on winning is overrated. And Knicks fans in a year or two are going to despise that trade if you guys trade for Giannis Antetokounmpo. I say stay away, do something else with your team. Dr. X, is Giannis's impact on winning overrated?
No. I don't think it's overrated. I think with everything, there's a lot of variables that come into play. Who's the coach? I mean, Adrian Griffin was fired, and then Doc Rivers comes, and then they start dipping because it's a different coach. Then Chris Middleton can't stay on the floor. Drew Holiday can't stay on the floor, and then he gets traded. And then Damian Lillard, I mean, does he impact winning? You know, I mean, he was in Portland all those years, and then comes over there, and nothing changes. So I would say it's a lot of variables. You can't really point the finger at one thing. I do agree with you that his game may not, age that gracefully in terms of his shooting percentages, inability to shoot the free throws, may become more injury prone if he stays in Hulk smash mode. But I also saw him improve his mid-range jump shot, his turnaround jump shot. His ability to facilitate has always been good, and his ability to draw fouls. That still impacts winning. You put a team in a penalty pretty quickly, it still impacts winning because now they don't play as hard defense on you anymore. He rebounds. That still impacts winning. That's a big part of defense. He can defend. That still impacts winning. So he gets steals. He's always locked in. He's always playing with that energy. That motivates his teammates to play. So I think right now, I just don't think that he's in that window where he can't still do those things. And the Knicks kind of just need Giannis for like a 3-year, max 4-year window to be Giannis, this version of Giannis, which is 27 points. I'm okay with that. I don't mind that. The question is, who else would we rather over Giannis? So I do think the Knicks should go after Giannis because Giannis wants to be a Knick. I think that's the type of mentality we need. We don't need him to be the hero. We don't need him to be the closer because we already know Giannis defers to other players that shoot better from the free throw line, have a better jump shot in the same way he deferred to Chris Middleton. But at least, hopefully, Jaylen Brunson will be available and has no problem doing that and has proved he can do that. So I think Giannis is a great number 2. And I think it's really 1A, 1B. And I also think Towns is a great number 3 option. And I think OG Anunoby is a great number 4 option. So I'm not sure what they have to do. Personally, if I'm the Knicks, at this point, I would say just stick it to the Bucks. Don't trade for him necessarily because he'll eventually be a free agent. Have a conversation with Giannis without tampering. Some way, somehow, have a conversation with him. Like, hey, just sign with us when you're a free agent. If you want to be a rental player next year,
Joe Smith style? You're saying they should go Joe Smith on it?
Wait a minute. Hold on. Wait. How did this conversation, how did my cousin's diatribe shift from impact on winning to helping the Knicks? That wasn't the question.
No, but come on, Doc.
I'm covering everything, just like you do with your 2-part questions. I have a 2-part answer, Dwight. So, so pretty much, I'm just saying ultimately it impacts winning, and the Knicks should go after him because I believe Rick touched on that a little bit. But ultimately, if it impacts winning and that window is there, I would just say the Knicks don't need to gut their roster for him, and maybe try to build a team that will make him sign as a free agent. We don't need to get the roster. I think that the Bucks have enough pressure on them right now. The ball is in Giannis' court. The ball is in the Knicks' court. And anybody that wants him as a rental player could benefit from Giannis in this window. I don't believe he has 8 more years left. I think he has about 4 to 5 more years left at this current peak. And those stats that you see, I do think they impact winning. So that's my answer.
All right. So I figured as much. Great answer. Doc Dwight, you are next. The question is Giannis's impact on winning overrated?
Giannis Antetokounmpo's impact on winning will never be overrated. He's a winning basketball player. He's won a championship. Yes, we understand that in the 9 years that he has gone to the playoffs, his teams have lost in the first round. But there are factors that have gone into those teams losing in the first round. Players aren't good enough. He's also been injured. He hasn't been 100% healthy. He makes winning plays. He's in the defensive player of the year conversation every season. He brings maximum effort every night. He plays for his Greek national team every summer. That's the only reason I say when it comes to trade talks for Giannis Antetokounmpo, buyer beware. I want to see him in a situation to where his roster is built around him to cater to his skill set or lack thereof. That's why it's difficult for me to see any team wanting to gut their roster to get Giannis Antetokounmpo. Out of all the stars or superstars that we currently have in the NBA, Giannis Antetokounmpo is clearly the most flawed. In today's NBA, to where every player has to be able to dribble, pass, and shoot, the one area where Giannis does not bring it consistently is the shooting category. He's not a good shooter from distance. They would much prefer he shoot the ball from the mid-range, and when he gets fouled, he is a below average free thrower. So when you're adding Giannis Antetokounmpo to your roster, you have to build the roster to fit his skill set or lack thereof. But his impact on winning will always be in the positive as opposed to the negative. It's not always about playoff success or lack thereof. It's what he brings to the table. And Giannis will always be viewed as a winning player. No question about it. Whoever gets him in the future, however, will have to understand that you'll have to have certain role players, certain skill sets to benefit or complement what Giannis brings to the table. But again, you're getting an elite rebounder. You're getting an elite rim protector. You're getting a player that can initiate off. You're getting a player that can initiate offense off of a rebound. He can blow the ball up the floor. He's a pretty decent decision maker. But again, you need the proper role players or the proper skill set around this player for Antetokounmpo's teams to be even more successful. That's the only issue I have with Giannis. He is a flawed superstar. You have to build the requisite parts around him to be successful.
Interesting. Very interesting. I had a feeling that my take would not be agreed upon by you two guys. So now, and you know, that was a very easy prediction, by the way. Doc, especially with you. I know you're still pining for a man named Giannis. I still want Giannis in a Knicks uniform. I'm not mad at you. I just would go in a different direction, as I explained. A.M. Pfeffer, is Giannis's impact on winning overrated?
Yes, we are 6 minutes into the game. Only 6 minutes, and Sienna's beating Duke 14-13. I'm just throwing that out there. Just for
Jerry McNamara!
No!
Go Sienna!
No!
Jerry McNamara!
No Giannis. No Giannis's impact on winning is not overrated. Rick, you done got me pissed off. I'm usually pretty pragmatic and level-headed. I'm upset. Now I'm upset.
Let's go!
Think Doc is... I'm getting so tired of this Giannis conversation. I really am. 7 straight first-team All-NBA. 7 straight first-team All-NBAs.
Not this
2 years
year,
prior to that,
and never again.
Fine. Never again. With second-team All-NBA, okay, the previous 2 years, you're talking about top 8 in MVP and Defensive Player in the Year voting all 7 of those years.
It's in the
you
past,
yourself
though, man.
said it. But that's what you're talking about here. But you brought up 9 times that he went to the playoffs. That alone proves his impact on winning is not overrated. I understand what you're saying, that you get to the playoffs and he's got to get out of the first round, but you got to the playoffs. You know how many superstars and good players are on other teams that never even get to the playoffs? It's not overrated. This is about the Milwaukee Bucks. The Milwaukee Bucks are the dumpster fire of the NBA. And of all the damn things I've talked about with them, I don't want people to forget they waive and stretch Damian Lillard to sign Miles Turner. That was the reason they waive and stretch Damian Lillard. The team is so far over their skis, it is ridiculous. Get Giannis on the Knicks, get him on another team next year. And here's the last point I want to make. And you'll see him come back, and he will be first or second team All-NBA, and he will be in the mix for Defensive Player of the Year again, which is going to be a major impact on winning. A major impact on winning when you're a rim protector and you're Defensive Player of the Year candidate year in and year out. He's got 3 years left in him to do these things. Everybody, the last thing I want to say, stop putting this on Giannis. I don't want to hear it anymore. This is not fair to keep doing it to him. And I know we're going to talk later about Brunson and putting it on him and the Mikal Bridges of it all. Even in the age of player empowerment, this is not on the players to step up and demand a trade. I don't like it. I don't like the talk. He has said 60 different ways, sideways, trade me, without having to say, trade me. Okay? Tell me you want to be traded without wanting to be traded. He's a freaking meme at this point. Okay? Like, come on already. And he says he wants to play. He says he actually doesn't want to be shut down and play. Get at it. Move on.
I agree with you.
I agree. I agree with A.M. Pfeffer. 100%. Agreed.
Sorry,
I'm on
Rick.
camp. I'm on camp. Hey, I already knew. I mean, AM still wants Giannis on the damn Bulls. Hey, AM, the Bulls haven't won since the All-Star break, bro. Anyway, I'm just trolling.
Yeah,
I'm just trolling.
By the way, you know what? Bring him to the Bulls and watch how fast they start winning. Giddy next year, Bucelis. I still love that team, and I still love that they have money. You talk about money. They've got plenty of money to sign both Giannis and another player.
They should rent them for a year.
Forget it. Give him the 3 or 4 years. You guys, I'm telling you, watch how fast some other big player in the market would be on that team within 2 months of getting on the Bulls. You'd have an absolute nucleus, and they would be a fierce competitor in the East. They'd be top 4. Anyway, moving on.
Yeah, you guys are. I gotta challenge you guys on one thing. I do. Giannis is not an elite rim protector. There were times early in his career where he kind of was. I
didn't say elite. He's a rim protector. He's still Defensive Player of the Year candidate, right? He's with his top 8. He's
not this year. He's not.
No, but I get it. But we talk about this notion like they're like it's like either you're the best rim protector in the game or you're not a rim protector. That's not fair. He's still a rim protector. There's a lot of guys who play defense who aren't rim protectors. He's still a rim protector. He can protect the rim. A lot of guys can't do it. Franz Wagner being one of them, as we know.
I mean, again, I'm just saying he's at 0.7 blocks this year. He's at 1.2 for his career. He was at 1.2 last year, 1.1, 0.8, 1.4, 1.2, 1, 1.5. He was at 1.9 in his 4th year, but he was 22 years old. So my point is, like, I mean, look, we're nitpicking here, but he is not. I don't really think he's ever been an elite rim protector. An elite rim protectors, Anthony Davis, Rudy Gobert, Kristaps Porzingis, Miles Turner, the guys that are blocking 2 shots a game. Wemby, of course.
But a rim protector means that the guy driving with the ball is having second thoughts about going at the rim because your protector is standing there. Giannis gives you that.
Well, we have a different definition on that. To me, it's are you swatting shots? Like that to me is rim protection. Like, are you boom? Are you turning guys away? And then that, of course, I mean, we've seen the Wemby effect. One of the plays that I remember, Jaylen Brown was driving in on him, saw Wemby and peeled out and pass out to the corner for a 3. And usually,
alien.
Well, I know, but I mean, Jaylen Brown's always in attack mode, but not that.
Okay, well, let's look at it this way: is Karl Anthony Towns, is he even considered anywhere of a rim protector? Like, would you put him in the conversation of rim protection?
No, hell no.
Exactly. That's right. So, but he was 3rd in your MVP last year, right? Giannis is still a Defensive Player of the Year candidate. He can put him where Cat is, and he's quote unquote protecting the rim a lot better than Cat does. That changes the dynamics of how you're running your team.
I'm completely confused because like Cat third in my MVP ballot last year, I never said he was there because of rim protection. That never ever came out of my mouth. I don't even think he averaged a block per game last year.
But if you're going to be in the MVP conversation, you better be doing it on both ends of the floor. That's my point. I'm read between the lines here.
No, well, I don't agree with that because Luke is in the MVP.
I can see.
No, I mean, and you're my guy, but Luka's in the MVP conversation. I mean,
Luka is gravity. But Luka's gravity, right? Like he bends the gravity of the.
Not like Luka, but Cat creates gravity.
Rick. Oh.
Come on. Cat is no gravity. Cat gives gravity back.
All right. Well, speaking of the Knicks, let's move on because we're at a loggerhead here. Let's move on. We got another spicy topic here, and we got some Stephen A. Smith sound, and Dr. X is going to go first here, and I can't wait to hear what he has to say because you guys were chirping on the group chat, and so yes, it's in here. You guys, time out. I got to set it up.
I can blame Jaylen Brunson for, who I'm so proud to have as a.
All right. So the question is Jaylen Brunson holding back the Knicks? It sounds like Stephen A. Smith thinks that he is holding back the Knicks. So this was Stephen A. Smith on First Take a day or two ago talking about that. Hit it.
What we want. And guess what? And this is going to shock everybody. This is where I'm breaking news. The person I'm blaming most for all of this is Jaylen Brunson. It's the only thing that I can blame Jaylen Brunson for, who I'm so proud to have as a New York Knick. But this is all his fault. All of it. And I'm going to tell you why. And so when you can't let your organization give up that much to get a dude that's going to ultimately handicap you from building a roster that can compete for a championship. Not to say that the Knicks can't compete for a championship, but you know what I'm saying. They are in a hole. And Mikal Bridges don't look like he's capable of getting out of him. And here's what.
All right, so Dr. X, Jason and Kai, thank you very much. Dr. X, do you agree with SAS? Is Jaylen Brunson holding back your Knicks?
Well, when I first saw it on the ticker, it looked like you were saying it's his talent holding back the Knicks. I think you're looking at a decision about 2 summers ago or last year or whatever, for him to get his friend from college that he won at least 1 championship with, maybe 2. But ultimately, I thought it was a good pickup. I mean, I know it was a sacrifice to get a starter player on the wing that can actually shoot the ball. I know he's had some struggles. I wouldn't necessarily blame Jaylen Brunson for getting his wish. He also took a pay cut as well. I don't think Brunson's holding back the Knicks. I just think that that's what Leon Rose decided to do. That was a suggestion. He took a pay cut. Hopefully he gets the money back in some way, shape, or form. The question is, Mikal Bridges is actually holding the Knicks back. He's not playing to his level of talent. And the pressure is on not Jaylen Brunson, but Mikal Bridges. At least Jaylen Brunson held up his side of the bargain. It's not like he's playing wise, he's holding the team back. He's actually having to make up for a lot of the deficits of Mikal Bridges. Mikal Bridges also played very well in the playoffs last year. So it's the reason why we beat the Celtics. It was a collective effort, but he was a big part of that. So it's just really Mikal Bridges is in a slump right now. He also got paid this year. He earned it technically. He got $150 million. So I think the pressure is away. I think the finger can't be pointed at Jaylen Brunson after the Knicks couldn't land Giannis, decided to actually pay Mikal Bridges. So ultimately, the Knicks also have an option of trading Mikal Bridges and getting some picks back. There's a myriad of things that they can do to kind of make this work in their favor. They just haven't given up on Mikal Bridges at this point, and I think rightfully so. I think he might be a different version of himself in the playoffs when he has to adjust. And so to answer your question, Jaylen Brunson is not holding back the Knicks. If anything, he has helped the Knicks get to another position where they could potentially win a championship this year.
We have I don't know if Duke is on upset alert just yet, but it's 22-16
They are.
Siena. 16-1. You guys putting Duke on upset alert officially right now?
Yes, I am, because these games are short, they're very quick, and nerves start to play in. And these kids are straight out of high school, and they're the lights are pretty bright, and Duke isn't full strength right now. No excuses, because
No.
Let's see what Cam Boozer has. Whatever, Mr. Sienna.
No.
So Nick, this is actually a real rivalry right now, because I went to Duke, for my training and fellowship, and Dwight went to Siena.
For my freshman year, yes.
That is amazing. Oh, I love that. Siena just scored again. They're up 24-16.
But hold on.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, we can talk about Duke not having any excuses until we're blue in the face, but the reality,
I mean, John Shire couldn't win jack shit last year with Cooper Flagg and Con Knipple. He didn't win jack with them last year.
Right, but they don't have their full deck. They're gonna come back and beat Siena today, but that's the reason why I don't have
down
Duke
by 8
advancing. Yeah, but it's the first half. Anyway,
by 10.
I don't have Duke. Okay, I don't have Duke. I don't have Duke advancing very far in this tournament because they're not whole. They have to depend on Cam Boozer, a freshman, to pretty much do everything if they want to have any success in this tournament. He's a great player. I just don't think he's good enough to carry Duke to a national championship. So this whole talk about no excuses and they don't have any injuries, they've got injuries. Trust me. Injuries.
How many times does a 16 beat a 1? One time, 2 times?
Once. I think it's once.
Yeah, with the injuries though, I mean, it doesn't matter. Like to me, you got to beat Siena, injuries or no injuries. You have Cam Boozer, so let's see how good Cam Boozer is. Dwight, you were on record saying, or at least telling me, that you think, not that he's overrated, but you don't think he's what was your statement? You said something about
I want to know if his athletic ability will translate to the NBA. He's a terrific basketball player, and you don't have to be uber athletic to have any success in the NBA. We know plenty of cases to where the athletic ability wasn't great coming into the league, but players have had tremendous success. That's my only question about Cam. Cam Boozer is a great basketball player, will be a lottery pick this year. I'm concerned about his athletic ability. That's it. Mm-hmm. He's gonna, but if I know Cam Boozer, he's going to prove me wrong and have a great NBA career. Again, my only concern is his athletic ability. That's it.
He just had a sweet alley-oop pass, driving and kind of scooped it like from his waist up over his head to a guy at the rim for a dunk. That was a sweet setup by Cam Boozer right there. So, Dwight Walton, you are next up on our Jaylen Brunson question here. You heard Stephen A. Smith. You probably watched it live when he said this, Dwight, but is Jaylen Brunson holding back the New York Knicks?
Now, because of the way the question is framed and because of what Stephen A. Smith said, if you want to say that Jaylen Brunson went to Leon Rose and Jim Dolan and said, listen, I think Mikal Bridges would be a great asset for our team. We've had success at Villanova together. We won a championship or two together at Villanova. If we can bring him over, I think our team, we're trying to match up with the Boston Celtics. So having OG Anunoby and now Mikal Bridges to be able to guard Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum, I think that will definitely give us a better chance at competing with them in a 7-game series, and then hopefully and eventually win an NBA championship. Now, I don't think Jaylen Brunson anticipated Leon Rose and the Knicks giving up 4 first-round picks to get Mikal Bridges, right? But they did what they thought they had to do in order to acquire Mikal Bridges. Now, again, same thought process as my cousin Phil. I thought you were talking about Jaylen Brunson in terms of his holding onto the ball for 20 of the 24 seconds of the shot clock in regards to him holding the Knicks back that way. He has a lot of flaws. He's 5'11". He dribbles a lot. doesn't necessarily make his teammates better, although he's done a much better job over the last month to 6 weeks to where his assist totals have gone up and his scoring prowess has gone down. I like that balance. But ultimately, defense wins championships. And when you're one of your two top players on the New York Knicks and you're hunted defensively, that is an issue. So if you want to put it that way, is he holding the Knicks back in that regard? Absolutely. But in the framework of Stephen A. Smith's comment, Jaylen Brunson, it wasn't his fault. He simply made a suggestion to the front office, get Mikal Bridges, and then the front office made the decision to go all in and give up 4 first-round picks for Mikal Bridges. It's not Brunson's fault. He made the suggestion. It's the Knicks front office fault for ultimately going all in for a solid, not star player in Mikal Bridges.
Love the take, man. Love the take. AMFFer, you are next. Is Jaylen Brunson holding back the New York Knicks?
You know when someone says to you, I got to be honest with you, or I'm not going to lie to you, and then the next thing coming out of their mouth is an absolute bold-faced lie? Yeah, right? Yeah. That was Stephen A. Smith doing a hot take when he's like, and I'll tell you why, right? Like he says something and then the setup, and then I'll tell you why. That's like the dog whistle for I'm about to give you an unnecessary hot take. In the realm of okay. Yeah, that's my point, right? Like that's what we're hearing here, because it's like in the realm of what he's saying, come on, Jaylen Brunson holding back the Knicks. Like it's Jaylen Brunson's fault that they ultimately pulled the trigger and made the decision to bring over Mikal Bridges for 5 first-round picks, and then they've got to make it work because they did. And Doc, I hear what you're saying about pay cut. Guys, a pay cut's like if you came to me and you're like, hey, will you take less than 2 to 5%, or anybody, take 2 to 5% off so we're dealing with inflation for half a year, or, so we don't cut our complete workforce, like take 10 to 15% for a period of time and we'll bump you back up and we'll make it up to you later. This wasn't a pay cut. The man left $100 million on the table for his team so you can get all these other players. This is 100% on management. Jaylen Brunson, again, with this player empowerment stuff, like he's the one running the team, or he's making these decisions, or he's got to be the responsible party for this. Everything Doc and Dwight says, and I'm sure, Rick, what you're going to say about Brunson and his deficiencies, although, Dwight, I don't know what's wrong with 5'11 guys. I don't think it's a deficiency, just maybe in the NBA, by the way. But just stating like, yeah, he's got his deficiencies, but like, dude was a 2nd-round pick. He turned himself into one of the top 10 players in the league. Agreed. He has a winning mentality. Let's give him like all the accolades. The Knicks did a great job of bringing him onto their team, making him a focal point, and now they're a winning basketball team in the top 4 in the East with the chance to make some serious noise in the playoffs. Jaylen Brunson's not holding anything or anybody back. He has moved this franchise forward. It's on the front office to figure out who is best around him, and it's certainly on the front office not to give away 5 first-round picks for a decent player who's now in one of the worst slumps any of us have ever seen for any NBA player in the last 3 years.
That trade and the picks they gave up is not aging well. But here is my take. Is Jaylen Brunson holding back the Knicks? Hell nah. I'm going to hit you with a nah, not a no. That's where I'm at with this one. Hell nah. Guys, this is a whiny fanboy take by Stephen A. Smith. This is Knicks fanatic belly aching 101. Like on sports talk radio, after your football team loses in the NFL, like Sunday night, they have the wine line, right? All the fans call up and they just cry on the phone the whole night. And then the coach, he should have kicked a field goal for all that crap. Okay, that's what this is from Stephen A. Smith. He's so much better than this. He's so much better than this. This is a horrible, horrible, horrible take. I don't want to hear any criticism of Jaylen Brunson. None. Okay? And Dwight, I'm not like talking to you. I know you always bring up the issues you have with Jaylen Brunson. I do not share those issues that you have with Jaylen Brunson. The dude took one of the greatest haircuts in sports history. Okay? Yeah, 4 years and 156. He could have gone 5 years and 270. Okay, so immediately you get a pass, bro. I don't care if you go 0 for 20 in game 7. You get a pass. You gave up $114 million for your team. You are the last one that anybody is pointing at. And again, I don't care if you go for 20 in a game 7. Okay, sorry to bring up like John Stark's numbers to Knicks fans. I'm sorry. It happened, though. It's not my fault. Brunson is a dominant player. Not an all-star. He's a dominant player at 6'2", 190. And is he really 6'2"? Brunson's one of the best. Exactly. Brunson's one of the best clutch performers I've ever seen. Brunson is in the Hall of Fame of doing more with less. He's one of the great underdog stories that we have in the NBA right now. Second-round pick, bunch of garbage, blah, blah, blah. Brunson is the best thing to happen to the New York Knicks since Van Gundy, Ewing, Sprewell, Camby, Houston, and LJ, okay? That was around the turn of the century. 25 years ago. Brunson's arrival has done way more for this franchise than Carmelo and Amari were ever able to do, okay? Just saying, with love and respect to both of those GOATs, future Hall of Famers. They only got out of the first round once, okay? That was it. And they did not go to the conference finals that year. So you can complain about his usage rate, lack of defense, blah, blah, blah. He is the least of the Knicks' problems, okay? Yes, Mikal Bridges is in a slump, but everybody is overreacting to this. Here's why. I get it. Recently, post-All-Star, we saw the graphic. He's 8 points per game over his last 2 weeks. He's being dropped in fantasy basketball leagues. I get it, okay? I look deeper into his numbers, A.M. Pfeffer style, okay? Some of his numbers are down. He's from 17.6 points a game down to 14.8. He's from 14.4 FGAs, field goal attempts, down to 12.2. But his minutes are down 37 to 33. And I knew this would happen going from Tibbs to Mike Brown. Have fun getting your numbers with Mike Brown in his cute, cuddly, soft as tissue paper rotation, okay? That is a coaching thing. You play less, you score less. Duh. Mikal Bridges' blocks and steals are way up from last year. His offensive rating and defensive rating are way up from last year, okay, which surprised me. His three ball is up from last year, 35% to 37%. He's still the 66th ranked player in Yahoo basketball leagues, fantasy basketball leagues, okay? Still a top 70 guy, okay? I know the last 2 weeks have sucked. I get it. But he's going to emerge from this slump. And I don't even understand, like, yes, Mikal Bridges is slumping. The Knicks are still winning, okay? They're like 7-3 in their last 10. You know, they're playing good ball right now. I think they've won 4 games in a row. So this is, Stephen A. Smith is so much better than this hot take. So we had to kind of address that. Obviously, if one of the big boys is coming at us with a hot take about the Knicks, especially for Doc, we got to talk about it. Now, is LeBron James a role player now? That is the question here. I want to go to Dr. X first here. And here, small setup, Doc. JJ Redick said, it's better if LeBron James is our third option. Quote, the best thing for our team is LeBron being the third highest used player. End quote. So the key here is now, okay? Doc, is LeBron James a role player now?
I don't think role player is the proper term for LeBron. I think a role player would be someone like Rui Hachimura, Marcus Smart, Jake LaRavia, however you say his name. Even DeAndre Ayton, who was the number 1 draft pick, he's playing a role. If we're going to put that tag on LeBron James, which I don't think it's correct, I think he's definitely a star in his role. And I also believe it's a part of their big three. They have a big three. People think that big threes are gone now and super teams. I don't think this is a super team, but I do think this is a big three. I think LeBron has took a step back, like he relinquished control. And he's the best person to do that because he knows how to make players better in that type of a role. I think he leads the league in fast break points, which is impressive for I don't know how he is now, but he's 40, 42, 43, whatever he is. For him to be doing that 23 years in, that's impressive. I think that has a lot to do with Giannis Antetokounmpo not playing the games he's played, amount of games he's played. I think Giannis would have led the league in that stat category. But I just feel like, no, he's not a role player. I think he's a part of a big three, and he's deferred to a backcourt that's very talented, and rightfully so.
Okay, Dwight, you're next here. Is LeBron James a role player now? Like, is this his new role? Like what JJ Redick is talking about? Break it down, Dwight Walton.
LeBron James is absolutely a role player now. JJ Redick and LeBron James had a conversation, I'm sure, before the season as well. But because he missed the first 14 games, you really couldn't see what was going to happen on the court because, according to reports, LeBron didn't have a training camp with the Lakers. So it has taken a little bit of time for LeBron's role to be accepted, for him to star in it, and for him to relinquish whatever power had to be relinquished to Luka Doncic and Austin Reeves. There was another meeting, I want to say, prior to this 10-game stretch or a 12-game stretch to where the Lakers are 11-1. Things that began to click for whatever reason. And if you've noticed, LeBron James is allowing Austin Reeves and Luka Doncic to be the primary ball handlers and decision makers, and LeBron is pitching in when he can. The great thing about LeBron is that we have seen so many different facets of his game over his 23-year career. Even at 41, LeBron is clearly not even close to retirement. And this role can continue for the next 3 to 4 years, as far as I'm concerned. The only thing that LeBron is going to have to do is relinquish a lot of money. Because if he wants to play for the Lakers, if he wants to play for the Cleveland Cavaliers, if he wants to play for the New York Knicks, if he wants to play for the Dallas Mavericks, the LA Clippers, whatever contenders are out there, keep in mind, for the first time, I think, in LeBron's career, he is going to be a free agent this summer. So he is available to everyone. So if he wants to play for a contender, and under these current collective bargaining agreement rules, the repeater tax, the first and second aprons, the salary cap, the luxury tax, whatever terms you want to bring up, if LeBron wants to enable whatever team he plays for going forward, particularly contenders, he's going to have to understand that he cannot command 20 million, 30 million, 40 million, 50 million if he wants to continue his playing in the NBA. He clearly loves his job, loves the process, getting his body right to play at his optimum powers, even at 41. LeBron has accepted the fact that he is no longer the quote-unquote best player on the Lakers, so he has accepted a role to where he is absolutely starring in. So, of course, he's a role player now. He's just an above-average role player, or can I say a star role player. But he's obviously given the keys to Luka Doncic and Austin Reeves to drive the car, and he will do anything and everything in his power to star and assist in what the Lakers need going forward. That's how LeBron James is. He's a great third option, probably the best third option in the NBA, and he is absolutely starring in his role right now.
You guys might have seen me react right there. Sienna just got an HR Puffin stuff block, and then it led to a run out and a fast break jam. They took an 11-point lead. I believe that was Boozer just came back with. He's having a good game, 13 points for Cam Boozer. But it's 39-30, Sienna over Duke, 2:20 to go. Duke is going to go into the locker room at halftime with a deficit here. It's a matter of how much. Sienna's got the rock, shot clock running down, spinning, turnaround, Cash Ola. Ooh! Sienna
41-30.
takes an 11-point lead, 41-30. I didn't know the cat's name, but I like doing some play-by-play from time to time. All right. AM Pfeffert, is your turn. Is LeBron James a role player now, dude?
Wait, before we get there, this High Point, Wisconsin game, under a minute to go, now a 1-point game. South Florida's making a little run and a comeback, down 6 with a little over a minute to go. And Miss Nice taking it to Vanderbilt, the 12 over the 5, though that's pretty much the upset you often see. I love the NCAA tournament, man. I think we all do, right? March Madness, especially day one. It's just too cool, too awesome, too much fun.
Day one,
is LeBron? Yeah. Oh, especially day one. Is LeBron a role player? Yes. Yes, he is. But why does this need to be a pejorative, right? Why does it have to be a negative? It's a wonderful thing. He's like Dwight said, he's a star role player. He's an above average role player, and he's auditioning for a role. If AM Pfeffert is wrong and he's not retiring at the end of this year, well, this is his audition right now to go play at a reduced salary for the Lakers, for Cleveland, for Dallas, for the Knicks, for whoever you said, so he can show everybody, I could be good. I'll be a good boy. I'll play nice. I'll be your third, maybe possibly fourth banana. The Lakers, he knows what is being said out there about him. He's the social media king. He's the king and the social media king. He knows the Lakers are 9-2 without him, and he knows that he needs to be there for them if he wants to be just as good with them, right? It's true. Reeves and Luka are doing their thing. Luka's a much happier player and is playing beautifully the last month. Reeves is way better than Franz Wagner at this exact moment, especially because Franz Wagner's not playing. His last 3 weeks have been gorgeous. The Lakers are on fire. They're up to the 3 seed. They're making noise, and suddenly nobody wants to play them. And their defensive efficiency is way better. LeBron, with certain units on the floor, is doing some amazing things. He's still dunking the ball at 41 years old. And did anybody see that loose ball he went for the other day? I know it's been talked about like everywhere, all about, but yeah, you got to bring it up. It's a 41-year-old billionaire diving for loose balls in a role player position to do whatever's necessary for his team to win. LeBron, I commend you. I like everything you're doing, at least at this exact moment. And more kudos back to JJ Redick, because again, this goes back to why, and especially we talked about at the beginning of the year, why he's always been a top 5 coaching candidate. He has the Lakers back in contention. They're a top 3 team, and he's got his star players and his role players, yes, his role players and LeBron James doing what they need to do to win. It's all good.
So Dr. X said LeBron is not a role player now. Dwight and AM said he is. I also think that he is. However, on this team only, let me explain. This is a Luka and Reeves thing. LeBron will be on a new team next year, I believe. I know the Lakers have said they're open to him. You kind of have to say that, I guess. I don't believe that. I think LeBron will be on another team. I don't think he wants to play third fiddle, okay? Depending on where he goes, I could see LeBron getting back into that number 2 role, right? The number 2 scoring option, or Robin, as we like to call it. LeBron is still a Robin, or maybe a Batman, but just not on this team. And he can have Robin moments and Batman moments, but like overall the scheme is for him to be Alfred or Commissioner Gordon, not Robin or Batman. Here is how I define a role player, and it's different from how Doc defines it. And that's fine. There's no definitive explanation on this. Here's how I define it. The first and second options are not role players. They are the dudes. They're going to get their shots. They're going to get their usage rate. They're going to get their minutes no matter what. Well, foul trouble or injury. You guys get the point. That third guy, to me, is a role player, even if you're a Hall of Famer. Kevin Love in Cleveland was a role player. Chris Bosh in Miami was a role player. Manu Ginobili in San Antonio was a role player. James Harden in Brooklyn with Kyrie and Durant was a role player. Klay Thompson, when Kevin Durant was in Golden State, that made him the third guy. He was a role player. Okay, that's how I define it. LeBron is no longer a Batman, but he still has Batman tendencies. Like, I don't believe that LeBron could just definitively be a team's number 1 guy and like he's going to take them through 82 games and win 16 playoff games. I don't believe that he's up to that at this age, and that's totally fine, okay? But I do think that he can be the Robin, okay, to a championship Batman type of guy. How does LeBron currently see himself? I believe LeBron still sees himself as a 1 or a 2, not a 3. That's why he will be elsewhere next year. So I actually went ahead and Golden State, question mark, right? To me, he would be a number 1 option on Golden State with Steph Curry. Steph Curry doesn't have to be the number 1. He doesn't have to take the most shots. He never has. He never will. He's a very freewheeling flow of offense. What does the game script dictate? He's not got that Kobe mentality, right? Like, I'm getting 25 shots up today. And that's fine too. But Steph doesn't have that mentality. He doesn't. So that would be a toggle number 1 between Curry and Bron. Jimmy Butler, when he came back, would be the third guy or the role player. They're at the half. Sienna's up 43-32 over the Dukies in Greenville, South Carolina. Cleveland, okay? To me, Bron would be the number 2 in Cleveland. And you're like, how? Donovan Mitchell clearly would be the 1. Evan Mobley doesn't want that smoke. He's a role player now, okay? James Harden, when he was with Kyrie and Durant, was the third guy or a role player, and that's what I think would happen if Bron went back to Cleveland, okay? If Bron went to Dallas, he'd be the third option behind Kyrie and Flag. If he went to Houston, he'd be the third option behind Durant and Alpe. And if he went to Minnesota, which I don't know if he would want to do that, but I think that'd be a great look for the Timberwolves. He would be the second option on Minnesota. Then Julius Randle would become the third option, right? So I think it's just temporary. It's just a Laker, Luka, and Reeves thing, and that's why he's a role player right now. And as one of you guys said very astutely, he is a star in that role right now. All right, let's have some fun with this. This is the last topic, and then we're going to get to the roundtable rant. So we're going to hear some sound from Draymond Green. But the question is, okay, and this is from the Draymond Green show, Draymond's role on another team, what would it have been? Okay, so we know what he did in Golden State, very documented. We watched his whole career. But what would his role be on another team, another system? Okay, would more scoring have happened from Draymond? So that's the idea here. Now, this is what Draymond had to say on his podcast. Fellas, hit it.
I'll give you 30, no problem. Walk in the gym, put me down for 30. I'm going to go get 30 today because I want to. So if your kid can't really score, because a part of me still feels like I still never really got to give my whole game. And what could I have been if I was actually able to give my entire game? Large part of me sometimes still sit and be like, man, could I have then got in the top 75? Because I know I was right on the verge. And so I think about all of that stuff all the time.
All right, so I got to go first here, guys, because I don't like this. Draymond Green, as LeVar Ball famously once said, you guys know where I'm going with this? Stay in yo lane. Not your yo. I love that. Stay in yo lane. I've always loved that, man. Shout out to LeVar Ball, dude. Somewhere he's in California counting money right now. You know he is, all right? So Draymond Green is one of the best glue guys, one of the best defensive players, one of the best villains, and one of the best champions in NBA history. It doesn't need to be more than that. Dude, that's way more than anybody expected from you, Draymond. You are one of the greatest overachievers in NBA history. Why are you pining and wanderlusting about a different version of yourself when that guy's never existed? Sorry, I'm going Christopher Mad Dog Russo on you guys, and I'm going to lose my freaking voice. But this, so check this out. Draymond Green's career high at Michigan State was 16 points a game. Draymond Green's career high in the pros is 14 points per game. His career high in a regular season game in the NBA is 31 points. Okay, let's go back to high school. As a junior, he averaged 25 and 13. As a senior, he averaged 20 and 13. Won the state championship both years, okay? And I give him credit for that. Draymond is one of the great winners the sport of basketball has ever seen. You guys know that I give Draymond Green flowers, and I respect the body of work. There's a lot of other stuff that irritates me about him, and it's a very conflicted thing with me and Draymond, right? But I do respect and admire the guy, okay? The word is gratitude. Gratitude. This Smex is so ungrateful from Draymond Green. Draymond Green was a second-round pick because he was a tweener who couldn't shoot. Guys, 15 years later, he's a tweener who still can't shoot. Nothing has changed, okay? Steve Kerr and the Golden State Warriors saved Draymond. They saved him. They found the perfect role for him. He should be eternally grateful, not delusional about his non-existent bag. Give me a break. Most players let media and fans talk about themselves. When they're asked about themselves, like, David Robinson at the end of his career, what does your legacy mean? What is your legacy to basketball fans? They always say, I don't know, man. That's up for you guys to kind of define it. That's what they always say. Draymond, is going to tell you all about it. And that's fine. He can do his thing. Okay. But I would recommend that Draymond do more of that. Okay. Than all of the pontificating and all of the bragging. And Frank, this one smacks as delusional. Because, guys, if Draymond Green averaged 37 points a game in high school, okay, and averaged 22 points a game at Michigan State, he would have totally screwed my whole take here. Okay. But there is a consistent lack of scoring throughout Draymond Green's career, and he's saying he could score 30 at any night in any gym. It's a bunch of garbage, man. All right, let's go to Dr. X here. Dr. X, I even forget the question that we had here. Oh, yeah. So if Draymond Green went to another team, do you see him spiking as a scorer or what?
No. I think at the peak of his powers, the comp that I would say for Draymond Green would probably be Julius Randle, and because of the body type and the way they move. But Julius Randle improved his offensive game, but I just don't think he could be that. And then we've seen Julius Randle at the peak of his powers, what happened in the playoffs and things like that. I just don't think his game lends to that. He did become a better three-point shooter this year, but his mechanics are off from day one. He was shooting like he had a backpack on his back. So I just don't think, to say any gym, I disagree with that too. Some NBA players go into Drew League. They don't necessarily dominate per se. The rules are different. The times are different. Who you're playing with other NBA players are different. Is Kevin Durant on that floor? Is LeBron on that floor? Are you still? He's not. So even with Team USA, he played less of a. He didn't really fit in there either. So to say that he would have win on any team, any gym, I just think it's there's so many variables in that scenario, and I think he was, puffing himself up, and I don't think that's the way to go. And I agree with you, Rick. He kind of needs to stay in his lane and kind of be a little bit more humble, gracious with the opportunity that was given him as a second-round pick, and he should more lean into what he was able to do from that vantage point, or from the cards that were dealt for him to, really find a role for himself and be a star in that role, and didn't necessarily show up in the stat sheet, as Correa said. It kind of was just like what was impacting winning. It was allowing people to be superstars, and defensively, that needs to be looked at, because he was an undersized big, defending centers and switching on point guards and all that stuff. So I think that should be what he's celebrated for, and he should just lean into that.
I love the take, and I love the words that you chose to make that take, Doc. It's like I said, it's just the lack of gratitude is kind of weird. It's not hitting well with me. Dwight Walton, you are up next. Talk about Talk about Draymond Green's role, theoretically, hypothetically, on another team outside of Golden State. Would he be a scorer, this guy that he's talking about?
So, again, if you guys can make it clear for me, did he say he could score 30 in any game, average 30 per game? What was his exact words? Now,
any gym, he can walk to any pickup game, any gym, and give 30. Yeah, that's possible. But is it like a rec league, or is it pickup? Because pickup normally scores 30. His game is 20.
I got to be honest. I don't think he's talking about rolling up on the Drew League or rolling up on the Rucker. I think he's talking about, if I were in a different system, outside of Steve Kerr's system, I could score 30 in the L right now. That's what I hear. He said any gym. So an arena is a gym. But so to your point, Dwight, it's up for interpretation what he exactly means by that. But how it hits me literally is that he's saying any gym he could score 30 if he was given the opportunity.
Well, I have this because I referee in several rec leagues here in Montreal. I have this conversation with players in the leagues that I ref in all the time, and they have managed to convince themselves that role players in the NBA couldn't score 30 points or average 40 or 50 points in the rec leagues that they're currently playing in. And I'm like, fellas, you do understand. I understand you have a lot of pride in yourselves individually, but there's also a lot of delusion in that pride individually. They're in the NBA for a reason. You're playing in a rec league. Yes, you may have been great in college. Some of you may have played in some leagues overseas. I get it. So you have that distinguished about yourself. I understand that. But they were in the NBA and you weren't. So to answer the question for everybody, could Draymond Green roll up into any gym and score 30? Absolutely. I've seen Draymond Green score a career high 31 points in an NBA game. I've seen Draymond Green in 2016 in Game 7 give the Cavaliers 32 points, 15 rebounds, 7 assists. So if you're telling me if he can do that under immense pressurized circumstances, he absolutely could roll into Rucker Park and drop 30, could roll into the Drew League and drop 30. Without question, he's in the NBA. And let's understand this about Draymond Green as well. We talked about Giannis Antetokounmpo and his impact on winning. Draymond Green absolutely impacts winning. Draymond Green does so many things, the intangibles that leads to winning. Okay, did the Warriors do Draymond Green a favor by creating a role, if you will, for him to have impact on their championships? I'm on record as saying the Warriors don't become the Warriors without Draymond Green. That's impacting winning. He was a major part of those 4 championships. Yes, Steph Curry and Klay Thompson did the majority of the work. But Steve Kerr was enabled to implement a defensive system because of Draymond Green's prowess on the defensive end. Draymond Green is my height. I have met him. I have had conversations with him. He is my height, guys. I'm 6'6" on a good day. We're talking about guarding guys 7 feet, 6'11", 6'10". Now, Draymond is as big as I am. He's as big and as strong as I am. So he has that low center of gravity and can handle his business. But to be able to get the ball off the backboard and initiate and, in essence, be the point guard for the Warriors, I like the role that he played for the Warriors, which tells me he could have done that for any team in the NBA. I don't agree with this notion that if he played for the Pistons, if he played for Charlotte, if he played for the Clippers, if he played for the Cavs, whatever team in the NBA, that he wouldn't be the same guy. That is a lot of nonsense. I don't think guys understand how great of a basketball player Draymond Green is. He would bring winning culture, impact on winning, intangibles to any franchise that he played for. But again, I don't think he would average 30 in an NBA season, but he could absolutely score 30 in an NBA game, in a Rucker game, in a Drew League game. Any gym he walked into, he absolutely could drop a 30-piece on anyone. I stand by that. I will go to my grave with that. I agree with Draymond Green in that regard.
Yeah, so you talk about any gym versus the NBA. That's the distinction for me. Could Draymond Green go to LA Fitness and give those dudes 30 in the mouth? Yes, he could. Okay. Could he, like the Drew and the Rucker? I'm not quite as sure as you, Dwight, because there's some ballers there too. And we got to remember something. Draymond Green, the current iteration of him, is WASHED. So that is a reality here. A.M. Pfeffer, Draymond's role on any other team. Opine for us, if you would.
I shall opine for you, Rick. Look, Draymond Green right now is like the perfect depiction of why shows like ours are better, because you need back and forth. You need other people on your show, at least one person, let alone four, like we do it very well. I mean, Draymond Green, unfortunately, way too many times is one man, one mic, and a stream of consciousness that leads you to some strange places like this particular one right here and why we're talking about it. Yeah, I get it. On any other team, Draymond would effectively be a great player. He would bring the intangibles. He would have made it in the NBA and been exceptional. I really believe the word exceptional is right. Would he have been what he is on the Warriors or what he was? Probably not. Okay, a lot of this is about what Rick is talking about. Thank your lucky stars. The cosmos fell into place. Look, let's just remember our history of the NBA, right? Like Don Nelson introduced small ball to some varying degrees over his tenure. Mike D'Antoni, 7 seconds or less, like took it to a whole new place. But it was really Steve Kerr who perfected it, right? Like he was the one who put Draymond at the center position and then put like the Splash Brothers, the greatest backcourt duo of all time, around him to win the 4 chips and make the team what it was and do what they did. I mean, this is Kerr at his apex, all those guys at their apex, zenith, whatever word you want to use. I mean, that is the cosmos coming together. It doesn't often happen around the league. So Draymond would be exceptional because he has that motor, he has that fire, he has the ability, and somebody would have realized he could be at the power forward position. The same way that like Spoelstra realized that when he had his small ball moment of like Bosch at center and Braun playing the power forward, like, that ultimately would have happened with smart enough coaches. Again, I don't know where he landed or who he played for or what he would do, so it's really hard to say that. But Draymond is a special talent, and he would have risen to the cream in some degree, in some capacity on other teams. I don't exactly know what his role would have been. He certainly would. Chances are would not have even have come close to the career that he's had. But again, him opining, him on a mic talking about maybe reaching, the top 75 because he could have been a better scorer in some other capacity or in some other team. Like, dude, you got 4 chips. And a lot of that speaks to what Kerr was able to create and the Golden State Warriors were able to create for you during, their incredible run. He should be happy about that. I don't want to speak for him, but like there is an element for those of us watching outside. Like you don't need to opine too much that far off the reservation here. It's been a great run, and you're still an incredible player, and we all love you for it.
So my whole the scoring thing aside, who would he have been had he gone to Charlotte or Detroit or Utah or one of these other teams? I think he would have been a really, really solid NBA player. Possibly, all defensive teams. I agree with what Dwight said about establishing culture, kind of like Pat Bev has done on some of his teams, how Dylan Brooks, does on his teams, just brings that edge, that nasty, that mean, that bully. He would have done all that kind of stuff. But Draymond Green would not be a Hall of Famer without the 4 rings, okay? Because he doesn't have enough All-Stars. He doesn't have enough All-NBAs. He doesn't have enough awards. He doesn't have enough counting numbers, okay? He doesn't. He gets into the Hall of Fame because he was a huge part, an integral part of a dynasty. And so if he's on one of these other teams and just a solid 10, 12, 13-year player who maybe makes one All-Star and never wins a championship, he would not be a Hall of Famer. And again, I'm not trying to take credit away from him. I'm just telling you guys how I see it. The whole thought that Draymond would be nothing outside of Golden State, I think is nonsense, absolute garbage. But would he have the high standing in the basketball landscape of history without being with Golden State? I say 1,000% no. And again, he was a huge part of building that. All right, it is rant 30, guys. We're still at halftime here. These halftimes in these tournament games, my God, they're like 45 minutes long, right? They're incredibly long. Anyway, so we know they got sell, Mortimer, sell. We know that that's what this is all about. All right, so here's my rant. Here's my rant. It's a light and fluffy rant today. You guys, it's light and fluffy. It like poodles, like noodles. It's light and fluffy like noodles. Okay, so the light bulb has finally gone. The light bulb has finally gone on for DeAndre Ayton. Ding! It's on. Enlightenment has finally found DeAndre Ayton. He may actually finally live up to his nickname, Dominating. Because every time he said that in the past, I'm like, why do you say that, dude? And you go out and you get 11 points and 8 rebounds. You're not dominating, Jack. You know what? All right. So DeAndre Ayton says he finally realized he's not that guy. And I saw this on X. I was like, oh, I am so happy. What do I say, guys? I am here when dudes change the narrative, right? And or prove me wrong. I'm so here for that, okay? I applaud you, DA. What did I say a little while ago about DA? What did I say? He's got to look in the mirror and understand who the hell he's playing with. Did I not say that right here on Beyond the Surface? And then a month later, and like Adam Silver is always listening to me and like taking my ideas and ratifying them and turning them into like laws and rules. And so like that's a whole thing with me and Adam. I had no idea DA was watching our show or subscribing to our YouTube channel, which all of you should do, or heeding my advice. I had no idea, but I'm so happy about this. DeAndre Ayton said, I just started looking in the mirror and said, yo, bro, you're not that guy. You don't need to be on this team doing all that. This team, you came here to be the effort guy. And so when I read that, I was like, this is NBA Centel. There's no way DeAndre Ayton, just because of what we know about DeAndre, right? And players don't usually have this like moment of truth and enlightenment, right? A lot of them don't. They stay delusional and prideful and weird and you know what I'm saying? So like personal growth is so freaking important. So I was like, this somebody made this up. This is NBA Centel. No, Dan Wokey, one of the top LA reporters. I was like, okay, this is real. So guys, I love it when players prove me wrong, change the narrative about them, or heed my advice and critique. I want to see James Harden do the same thing by finally being playoff clutch and getting that 1,000-pound gorilla off your back. Totally here for it, James. I'm here for it. I am not rooting against you. Kind of rooting against your team just for our personal little like anti-cab rivalry thing. But overall, I'm not rooting against James Harden. I'd like to see him break through. I am a critic, guys, but I'm not a jerk and I am not a stubborn curmudgeon. I am not. I react to what happens on the wood. I don't make this stuff up, like Colin Cowherd. He just makes stuff up, throws ish against the wall and hope it sticks. Bro, SHIT ain't sticking to the wall, okay? It slides down every single time because that's all you're doing. The players give me results, and I give them feedback on those results. I've done this my entire career. I am happy for DeAndre Ayton because this attitude is going to keep him in the league for a long time, and it's going to get him a raise. Okay, he's on a 2-year 11 right now. He certainly wants more money than that. So we don't need any more of this crunk juice gimmicky crap that the Laker assistant coaches have to put on your friggin' water bottle. Okay, throw that BS away. All right, bring the noise every day, dude. Period. That should be your mantra. Okay, play the Public Enemy song on the way to work every day. Bring the noise. Bucka, 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 bucka. Yo, come on. Play some PE. Who doesn't love Chuck D? If you don't love Chuck D, you suck. That's just my personal opinion. I mean, Chuck D is the GOAT of rappers. And like you always say, Dwight, I will take that to my grave, okay? After a brutal stretch, guys, after a brutal stretch of laziness caused Coach J.J. Redick to greatly reduce Ayton's playing time. Ayton was ending up on waiver wires in fantasy basketball leagues, guys. Ayton has clicked in. And he's now been a big part of the Lakers' 7-game winning streak. Over the last week, he's going 13-10, 68%. We still want more DeAndre, but I like this new DeAndre Ayton, who is drafted to be a star, but he can be a star on the Lakers in his role as an elite garbage man. Okay, rim protection, we're probably asking a little bit too much here. All right, just go get double-doubles, big, healthy double-doubles. But DeAndre Ayton, I salute you, I applaud you, and I'm proud of you, young man. I am proud of you. Dr. X, your rant.
Well, mine is going to be spur of the moment because this team right here looks like they're about to pull a Duke Lehigh back in the day when C.J. McCollum gave Austin Rivers the business. I don't know if you guys remember that back then. So right now, Duke is down 32-45. The big.
And you remember the Jabari Parker year? Didn't they lose in the first round to Mercer?
I believe so. Did they?
I think because Jabari Parker was supposed to win the chip, and I think they lost in the first round.
Yeah, that's embarrassing. I have my shirt on. I'm gonna have to walk back to the spot and take this off. But anyway, I'm hoping that Duke wins. But I guess we're kind of looking at Siena. Who's gonna be that team, that player? Did we know CJ was gonna be that good? Dwight, do you even know the Siena team?
No, I don't.
So you weren't watching any of their games. You weren't paying attention to anything until now.
No, I
You
wasn't.
don't know who their best. Yeah,
I'm
I'm
not
not
Dwight.
even watching.
I treat the University of
Gotti.
Minnesota the same way. You got to be good for me to give a crap. You know what I mean?
I'm not even watching them now. So anyway,
I'm watching. It's going up, man. They're about to drive these guys out of here. But yeah, Rick, I really don't have a rant. I'm actually distracted right now. I'm kind of sad that my Duke Blue Devils usually have two horses in the race every year, and it looks like one is about to go bye-bye. So I hand over to you.
Long way to go in that game. Plenty of time. But it is exciting. It does make it exciting. And Siena looks pretty good out there. Putting up 40 on Duke by halftime. A little follow-up, Rick, on what you said about Ayton. Like, a little shout-out to Marcus Smart, by the way, and Redick, again, inserting him into the lineup, into the starting lineup and giving him all the minutes that he has, despite some poor shooting percentages. Like, his intangibles, Lakers, man. Different team. Exciting. Love when the Lakers are good. LA is a lot better town when they are, so I always like seeing them play well. I'm just going to give a little update here. On Monday, I gave a little trash talk to my man Rick about our championship, to the Godfather, as it were. I mean, right now, 3 days in, he's crushing me 9-2. I mean, literally crushing me. But it ain't over yet, and I'm not capitulating anything, and I'm not saying it's over by any stretch of the imagination. There's some moves to be made, and your field goal percentage at .521, that cannot stand. I mean, let's be honest. And I'm this close with assist-to-turnover ratio. And I'm surprised, but not that far away in the rebounding category either. So for those watching, for those who care, for the AM-Cam matchup, that's where it stands right now. The Godfather putting one over on AM. But plenty of basketball to play. Let's see how the next 4 days play out.
Indeed. A lot of basketball to be played. Nobody's celebrating. We're still chopping on wood, and we're still in the lab, and we're sweating and grinding.
I want to ask you a question. When did you pick up Maxime Reynaud? Because that is inspiring, man. This dude, he's like making a push for Rookie of the Year. He's so – when did you pick him up?
He is awesome.
I don't know, like 6 weeks ago, something like that.
Okay,
like
so it
became clear. Yeah. It became clear that Sabonis was, dead for this year, and I was like, and then this kid's like throwing up like a couple dubs. I'm like, all right. I mean, literally, you know how the waiver wire is. Like if the guy gives me 2 crappy games, I cut him, send him right back to waivers. But he has been rolling.
Duke can score.
Con Knipple, Cooper Flag, Maxime Reynaud. Bring Maxime Reynaud into the conversation.
Yeah, Duke can score. He's athletic. He's active. He is good.
Sack finally got something right with Max Reynaud. Yeah. All right, where are we at? Dwight, you owe us a rant, my friend. What you got?
You guys have heard me talk about this before. I'm going to bring it up again. I am so proud of where the NBA is as a whole, as a league. This whole notion that the Eastern Conference is markedly worse than the Western Conference. If you guys have been paying attention, and I go Google it right now, go to NBA.com, the Eastern Conference has 10 teams that are above 500. The Western Conference has 7. Now, we can sit here and debate what teams are better overall. I'm with you on that discussion. But my whole point is the parity in the NBA is at an all-time high. And I will continue to sit and applaud Adam Silver, the NBPA, everybody, the powers that be, that got together and implemented this CBA. Now, again, I am not educated enough to tell you about the first and second repeater taxes, the first and second aprons, the luxury tax, the salary cap. I'll leave that to A.M. Pfeffer, our local or resident capologist, if you will. He knows all of that stuff. But the overall landscape of the NBA, again, we understand that, to me, as far as I'm concerned, the two best teams in the NBA are in the Western Conference, the Oklahoma City Thunder and the San Antonio Spurs. But you can't tell me that right now there are 7 to 8 teams in the NBA that realistically feel that if given the right matchup, they can go on a run and win an NBA championship. That is where the NBA is today. I know that people in my era, my age group, they love to refer back to the 80s and 90s, how that was the best era of basketball. And you know what? You guys can have it. But I'm not your regular old school person. I love where the NBA is gone. I love where it's going right now. I love today's NBA to the point where you have to be able, with a few exceptions, and Draymond Green is one of those exceptions, but you have to be able to dribble, pass, and shoot if you want to be able to be successful in today's NBA. And I think the parity, I think the reality that 17 teams in the NBA right now are above 500, that just tells me that the overall landscape of the league is in a great place. It's in great hands. And I want to poo-poo what Tracy McGrady said either today or yesterday, how adding 2 more teams will bring the league down. Man, there is so much talent out there in North America, across the world, to where you can gladly bring in Seattle and Las Vegas. Those are the two cities that are going to be apparently coming into the NBA in 2028, 29, hopefully. But there is plenty of talent out there, enough to where the NBA is going to thrive. The NBA has to solve its tanking situation in order for the 32 teams to be able to succeed. It has nothing to do with the talent or lack thereof. It has a lot to do with how teams, franchises are operating to position themselves to get better draft picks. So solve that issue, you won't have any problems adding 2 more teams via expansion in the next 3 years. So I want to applaud the NBA. The parity is great. This year's playoffs are going to be fantastic. You've got my cousin, whether Cade Cunningham plays for Detroit or not, saying an 8th seed is going to beat the Pistons in the first round. That just tells you how much parity we have in the NBA. That's where the league should want to be. You might possibly see Siena beat Duke today in a 16 versus 1 matchup. I think sports are better when sports are unpredictable, and that's where the NBA is right now. Again, the Thunder and the Spurs are the 2 best teams in the NBA, but these playoffs, get ready for a great ride, because you honestly don't know who's going to win in a 7-game series. Matchups will be the key. Get ready for a great playoff run. I love where Adam Silver has the NBA today.
Oh, baby, they're calling ticky-tack fouls against Siena. Home cooking, baby. Duke just hit a 3. They are down 6. So did Doc de-Mike and bail to try to change the fortunes of the Duke Blue Devils right now? Is that why? Like, Dwight, you got to tell me. Like, if Duke loses, will Doc be like furious, just disappointed, and he can move on with his day? Like, how hard will he take a Duke loss if it happens? And like I said, they're only down 6. They're actually making a nice little move here.
He will change his shirt to walk from the studio back to his condo. He will change his shirt. He won't necessarily be upset, but he won't want to be affiliated with Duke in any way if Siena goes on to win this game.
I understand, but he won't burn the hoodie, right? He'll just take it off and throw it in the laundry, right?
Because the hoodie looks too good. It's a nice hoodie, so he won't burn it.
Yeah, yes. Great point. Great point. Not as cool as that gear that you and AM got, but it is cool gear. I will give him that. It is cool gear.
Thank you very much.
But I think I think Doc leaving, it's been kind of some mojo for his team. But I have noticed a couple of ticky-tack fouls, and the Siena guys are like, "Are you kidding me? That wasn't a foul." And I agree with them. So I'm expecting the ballot box to be stuffed here by the refs I mean, Duke is Duke, right? I mean, CBS is going to freak out if Duke loses in the first round. Oh my God, the ratings. Oh my God, we're screwed, right? They're going to yeah. Sienna's going 5-on-8 right now. There's 3 officials in college basketball, right, Dwight? They're going 5-on-8 the rest of this game.
Yes, sir.
All right, guys. Well, this has been a heck of a show. And I really appreciate you guys bringing the noise, bringing the high level, another bucket for Duke. They're down 4. You guys rock. So for A.M. Pfeffer, for Dwight Walton, for the great Dr. Phil McDonald, Dr. X, Jason Arambulo, and Kai Josephson. I'm Rick Kamla. Thank you so much for watching this edition of Beyond the Surface on the X-Rated Sports Network. On Monday, we have 3 guests. 1, 2, 3. 3 o'clock, we've got Actor Raw Leva, and at 3:30, we've got 2 of the band members from my favorite band, the Disco Biscuits, Mark Brownstein and Marlon Lewis, their bass player and drummer, respectively. Going to be a huge show. We're going to have a blast. We love you. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, please, and we will see you on Monday at 2 p.m. Eastern. Have a great weekend, everybody.